If her name is Laura Less, why isn't his name Maury Moore? Heyo people, Crash Thompson here, and welcome to this review of the latest from 100 Gecs, 10,000 Gecs. Well, that's a lot of Gecs. 100 Gecs as a project has always been really difficult to review just in general. It's not a very serious project, it's something they just have a lot of fun with. It's like, oh, I need to treat this with a serious, critical ear and eye, when the very first thing you hear is a bastardized version of the THX startup intro, and then a bunch of goofy sound effects. You know what you're walking into here. It kind of almost defies a review. My point being, 100 Gecs is one of those projects you know to just sit back and have fun with. And honestly, from the word go, that's what I love about this project. 100 Gecs is still a whole hell of a lot of fun. It is still 100 Gecs in a lot of ways. It is very electronic, very sample heavy, very loud and abrasive sample work and synth work. It is still pretty much exactly what you would have expected from a 100 Gecs album if you've been following along to this point. But honestly, I love how this album introduces a lot more varied and interesting elements to their sound too. Dumbest Girl Alive opens us up, and that introduces us to some of the fantastic, loud as hell rock guitars and the thick, thumpy bass work, and Josh Freese is behind the drum kit just hammering out some absolutely savage beats. There is a lot more, not sure how to put it, a lot more like flesh to the record. It's a lot meatier. I mean, you don't hire Josh Freese unless you really want your record to bang, and they absolutely came forth with a big bang on this record. 757 comes on immediately after this, and the whole thing just sounds like an Atari 2600 having a seizure, in like a good way. But the thing about this record that I really appreciate is the more organic and straightforward instrumentation. They introduce more hard rock guitars, more slamming and natural sounding bass. And again, Freese behind the kit is just losing his goddamn mind on this. They absolutely told him to go as nuts as you want to go, and he did not disappoint. According to the liner notes, most of the guitar work was done by Laura herself, and you know what? She does an excellent job. She's not necessarily Satriani or anything. She's not like shredding or doing anything terribly technical, but the riffs she creates, from, you know, really flying and fast punk stuff to really ferocious and heavy and chunky metalish kind of stuff, to the outright ska that breaks out. This album is ska all over the place. The thing is just littered with ska influences, and I'm absolutely here for it. Again, Laura is doing a fantastic job crafting these riffs and making them work into the Gecs sound. Again, I can understand how introducing these elements to something that is so caustic and aggressively electronic as Gecs, I could see how that would fall flat on its ass if you didn't do it right. But Laura, again, to her credit, absolutely crafted some fantastic riffs here. More power to her. I feel like that was the overall goal with this album, to make a heavier record, or at the very least, to make one that just has more behind it. More edge, more oomph, more slam, and more ridiculousness. I mean, stuff like Frog on the Floor, another one of those songs that introduces the ska elements, which I'm all here for, but it's also Frog on the Floor, where did he come from? Him Boy. It's a much more sonically ferocious and varied record, but make no mistake, this is still 100 Gecs. It's still silly. It's still got that shitpost kind of dumb humor to it that we all know and love. Doritos and Fritos is another great example of that more ska-ish sound with the more ridiculous lyrics. The ska elements really come to a climax at I Got My Tooth Removed, where they bring in a whole ass horn section. They literally say pick it up at one point, and that, again, that riff that Laura creates, that kip 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 kip, that offset tonality to the strumming. God, it's all so infectious, so wonderful. Honestly, it's still the same high-energy, kinetic sugar rush that 100 Gecs has always been, only now there's new instrumentation and new elements that add a bit more again, more edge, more crunch. To me, the sound is a lot more full-bodied. There's a lot more interesting experimentation going on here. Billy Knows Jamie is almost this, like, nu metal mosh pit thing. It almost feels like the best songs to come out of, like, Limp Bizkit or Nonpoint. You know, those nu metal acts that were more, like, groove-centric. By the end of the track, the whole thing just dissolves into this death, thrash, fucking anger, screaming. Peaking the mix like crazy. Yeah, fuck your speakers. I also loved $1 Million in that it mostly just feels like an experiment to see, okay, how far can we push our sampler until the thing just fucking breaks? 100 Gecs is just so much fun. They're so juvenile. They're so intentionally stupid in like a very good and at times even clever way. I do get why that isn't gonna click for absolutely everybody. Even though there is some newer, more almost newbie-friendly elements to this, it is still 100 Gecs. It is still a lot to take in. You know, I get it. It's not going to click for everyone. I don't know. For a certain type of listener, this type of music is just absolute brain poison. But for stupid MeMe dickheads like me, yeah, man, I'm all in. Let's go to France, get some new pants. Fuck yeah. I mean, for as noisy and as caustic as they try to be, they still know how to craft a damn good hook, a damn fine melody, and a fantastic chorus to tie everything together, and to me, that makes the music instantly infectious, instantly rememberable, and just an absolute blast. It's dumb fun, but it is still very fun. It's cool to see 100 Gecs not only put out another banger of a record, but to actively evolve and grow into something a little bit deeper and complex. Give this a go, even if you're unfamiliar with them. Spin it and just see if it clicks. I 100% get it if it doesn't. Again, this is not for everybody. But man, if this thing can get its hooks into you, you will absolutely love it. I feel very confident giving this a light to solid 9. Again, an excellent sophomore outing from these guys. Definitely an album of the year contender for me, and I don't know, there's not much else to say other than that. Give me all of them fucking Doritos and Fritos. Patreon.com/CrashThompsonXO. Help me get them Doritos and Fritos, fam. That's why we're here. And that's the review. What did you think of the latest from 100 Gecs? Were you loving it as much as I was? Or did you bounce right off of this? What did you think of the new sound elements? What did you think of all the ska guitars and everything? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Thanks again for watching. My name is Crash Thompson, and I will see ya when I see ya.